Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bigfoot Forensics. Yes, it has been a minute, but rest assured, the research has continued. I've been working on several books, but that's been ongoing for the past year and a half, 2 years anyway. The bear research and the paper on that is going well. Hopefully, that will be completed sometime mid-spring. I'm just hoping to get a few more detailed pictures that shows what I'm talking about. I'm going to be doing this kind of thing a little less formal than normal. As you can tell, I got a new background. Some things have changed. Um, got my dogs in here with me, so we're going to be having all kinds of fun. So a little less formal, but I still have some things I think we need to start paying attention to. I would like to say that the BFRO Missouri date is already out there, and I highly recommend going with Marianne Siebel's group. I went out with them a couple of times now, and it has been interesting to say the least. Okay. But anyway, I would definitely travel back to go and do that. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make this next one coming up in spring, which kind of stinks, but I have prior engagements. Anyway, what I would like to do today is talk about dermal ridges. So, dermal ridges are often described as lines on the skin. That description is simple, but it's incomplete. In forensic science, dermal ridges, or friction ridges, are not just patterns of lines on the skin. They're biological structures with specific functions. They have predictable behavior and measurable properties. Understanding what dermal ridges actually are is essential before any interpretation of prints, impressions, or casts can be made. Dermal ridges are raised skin formations on the palmar and plantar areas of the skin that form during early fetal development. Once formed, dermal ridges do not change in their fundamental arrangement, but they can stretch, they can compress, or distort. But the underlying pattern remains consistent throughout a person's life. This permanence and uniqueness is what makes them useful in forensic analysis. Dermal ridges, first and foremost, are functional. They increase friction between the skin and the surface. They improve grip. They enhance tactile sensitivity. On the feet, dermal ridges help maintain traction during walking, turning, and balance adjustment. That functional role influences how they behave under pressure and movement. See, dermal ridges are not random. They follow organized flow patterns that align with anatomy and how the hand or foot was formed. On the foot, ridge flow changes direction in predictable ways across the heel, the ball of the foot, and the toes. These flow patterns reflect the underlying structure, joint movement, and stress distribution. This organization is one of the strongest indicators that observed patterns are genuine dermal ridges rather than random texture. Dermal ridges are flexible, like I said before. When pressed into soft substrates, they flatten, spread, and elongate. Movement increases this effect. Importantly, distortion alters spacing and shape, but not the flow direction. And this distinction is critical. Ridge spacing can change. Ridge density can appear altered, but ridge flow remains internally consistent. Understanding this helps prevent misinterpretation. Most people rarely see dermal ridges outside of fingerprints, and friction ridges on the foot are even less familiar. When viewed in distorted impressions, they can appear irregular, exaggerated, or unfamiliar. And without understanding how dermal ridges behave under pressure and movement, these features are easily misinterpreted as anomalous or non-human. To name a few, dermal ridges provide information about the authenticity of an impression, direction of movement, pressure distribution, contact sequences. But they do not identify species on their own. They are one piece of a larger analytical framework. Using them correctly requires restraint and context. Dermal ridges are biological tools. They're stable, they're organized, and functional. And when properly understood, they provide reliable information. When misunderstood, they lead to confident but often erroneous conclusions. In forensic analysis, knowing what dermal ridges are isn't optional, it's foundational.